Hi, I'm John Politte from It's Only Food, and today we're making old-fashioned meatloaf. Alright, today we're going to be making meatloaf. So here's the chuck we're going to use for it. It's about 2 pounds of ground chuck right here. And I got my eggs, 2 eggs, about half a cup of Worcestershire sauce, 1 diced onion, some ketchup, about 3 tablespoons, some soup mix. I think this is French onion, instant soup mix, and about a cup of panko breadcrumbs, and of course a little salt and pepper to liven up the flavors. So back out, and we will get to mixing on this. Okay, after we're squeaking towards it, then we're going to add everything in from our ingredients into the ground beef to make the meatloaf. So add a little Worcestershire sauce first, then the onions. We're going to mix all this up by hand. This is the soup mix that we got in. It's got some onions in there too, but it's also packing a lot of flavor. So panko breadcrumbs. You may have noticed that I used panko breadcrumbs. That's not a personal choice or by any means. It's just what I had laying around the house. You can use croutons, you can use oatmeal, you can make your own breadcrumbs, you can go buy breadcrumbs. It's nothing different. I just had them laying around the house, so I want to use those up. I'm not going to add all of these. If I need some more, I will add them. Here's our eggs. If you're not careful, you might get a yolk in there. But if you want to cut or break the egg into a different dish and then pour the egg in there from a different dish, you can. I'm very skilled, I guess, at breaking an egg without getting the yolk. And if it does get in there, well, it ain't gonna kill you. So I'm gonna add a little milk to this just to give it a little more liquid and also to make sure the flavors blend nicely. So here we go. Salt and pepper. Little salt, gotta have some salt in there. Now we're just gonna get busy and we're gonna mix it by hand. I know this is frowned upon in today's society, but I did wash my hands and I will wash them after we're done too. But you want to get all these ingredients blended in there. Get that egg in there because that's going to be your binding agent. Kind of messy. Now we've got the loaf pan. Okay, this is what you're going to put it in. You can, if you want to save time, I do believe they sell aluminum foil pans that are disposable if you want to use that. This is a really nice pan. It's easy to wash out because nothing really sticks to it. I've seen some pans where you put the meatloaf in and you've got to use a chainsaw to get some of that back out of there. So it's pretty bad sometimes, but I'm just going to pick and just roll that right in. You saw how I did that. And you just kind of press it in there so that when it cooks it stays together better. I am not going to put a glaze on this because I'm going to serve it with mashed potatoes and gravy, which we're going to start up next. So this goes in the oven about 45 minutes until you probe it with the thermometer. You want it to be at 165 to kill all the E. coli and other bacteria in there. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to throw it in the oven. And just try to remember too, this is just a straight meatloaf, straightforward meatloaf. There's no wild flavor profiles or exotic ingredients or anything like that in it. It's just a simple, easy on the budget, very easy to make, but it's still tasty and it won't cost you a lot to make. So when you master this, you can move on to the other things that make it really exotic, like your elk and your morel mushrooms and things like that into it. But first you gotta learn how to cook the first one. So I'm here to help you do that. Remember, it's only food. We got our mashed potatoes boiling right here. We've got our gravy simmering. And of course, what is mashed potatoes with gravy and meatloaf without some good buttered corn? So we will get the tripod set up so we can do a shot of how to make the mashed potatoes. Stay tuned, I'll be right back. I'm gonna pull the meatloaf out and let it rest. So here's what it looks like. Looks pretty good. I'll set it right there on the counter between the two. It'll stay hot and yet I got my probe thermometer right here. I'm gonna put it right in there, and we'll see that it is. Let's see where that goes. 173, 176. So that's good. That's good. Don't have to worry about anybody getting E. coli. Okay, we're taking our mashed potatoes, putting them right in there. Let them drain all the water out. Put them right back in the same pan. After I get everything in there, I'm just gonna, a little bit of milk in there. A little bit of butter. Let that melt a little bit. You don't need to use a mixer. You can do this by hand. Of course, some salt and pepper, because you got to have salt and pepper. You can add this later to taste. And we're simply just going to mash these up. And just use the flat side of the spoon to just press them all together. Mix them up. Mix them up. You can add a little chicken stock or chicken base instead of milk if you really want to develop some good textured flavor and a better profile. But everybody knows it's just milk and butter. There's your mashed potatoes. I'm going to go set up over here and we're going to plate up. Mashed potatoes right on the plate. Corn on there. And of course, you want to have a little bit of gravy over the meat and the potato. Clean that up. There you go, meatloaf and potatoes, mashed potatoes and gravy with corn, classic meal, basic, simple recipe. I will try to put on my Facebook page so you all can make this as you need it. There you go. All right, well, we just got done shooting the meatloaf and mashed potatoes show. Go to facebook.com/Chef Politte and see the recipes, like our page. You'll also get information on where to go to see the YouTube channel that we have, and also our business address at itsonlyfood.biz. We've got a lot of exciting things there that I think you'll like. Thanks for joining us today on the Meatloaf Show. Have a great day.